Over the previous episodes, we've talked about the evolution of ransomware and how to defend ourselves from it. One of the ways ransomware can infiltrate our devices is through the cloud. So let's learn why cloud computing is vulnerable to cyber attacks in this episode. Welcome to Mobility at Work. This podcast is brought to you by SYNDES Technologies. SYNDES is the leading enterprise mobility strategist in Southeast Asia, and we help you to manage, secure, and control company bulk devices in a single dashboard. Continue listen. Cloud computing has been taking the IT world by storm throughout this decade. I'm sure most people are familiar with cloud storage like Google Drive or Dropbox. However, individuals and organizations can embrace the cloud in so many other ways, ranging from data analytics to app development. Now, 51.6% of organizations store employee data in the cloud. Gone are the days of paying for bulky servers and storage media alongside their exorbitant maintenance bills. Sadly, every innovation has its drawbacks. Black hat hackers, which I'll be referring to as hackers, are seeing an opportunity to extend their cyber warfare to the cloud. Russia is notorious for this ever since the fall of Soviet Unions. The recent war between Russia and Ukraine isn't just happening in the real world, but also in cyberspace. Thus, saying the cloud is 100% secure isn't correct, even though the cloud computing service providers try their best with security features. Therefore, other countries hosting and organizations supporting cloud infrastructure should strive to build up their cyber defenses. So, how do hackers compromise cloud computing system in the first place? There are many methods, but here are 5 common ones I'll be sharing with you. Let's start with cloud misconfiguration. When we adopt cloud computing, we need a proper expertise and preparations to set up cloud services. What happens if we don't? An example would be SE Loader exposing over 400 million of records of internal software data to the public, all because there was no password protecting the relevant database. According to cybersecurity insiders, 33% of companies had at least half of their operations on the cloud, and this percentage is expected to grow to 56% by now. I'd expect misconfiguration to increase with adoption unless IT departments can be more careful and proactive with how they secure their cloud operations. Next, when we commit to a cloud service provider, we're entrusting them to safeguard our precious data with the security of their system, right? Unfortunately, like any other piece of software, cloud service providers are not immune from vulnerabilities. When attackers discover a vulnerability, they can compromise the entire system with an exploit. Therefore, it's very important to be up to date when it comes to cloud software and be on the lookout for crucial fixes. If you spot any potential vulnerabilities, it doesn't hurt to report to developers right away so they can work on patching it up ASAP. So far, I've been talking about external causes of attacks on the cloud. What about internal causes? It's a difficult pill to swallow if you've been very trusting of every employees and colleagues, but you never know if they may turn against you and attack your own infrastructures. Besides, corporate espionage, which is no laughing matter, is on the rise in an increasingly digitized workforce. Case in point, a few years ago, former employee of Waymo, a self-driving car subsidiary of Google, allegedly downloaded files from them before working for Uber and using the content of those files to develop a self-driving technologies for Uber. The good news is we can combat insider attacks with foresight and preparations. First, screen your prospective employees before taking them in and set stringent employees policies like limiting their access and monitoring how they access sensitive data. A telltale sign of an insider attack is unusual data access activity. There's plenty of software using machine learning and AI to determine what constitutes with unusual activity. It works well with a zero trust network access policy requiring users to constantly authenticate. Sometimes it's not the mistakes of trusting the wrong employee, but also trusting the wrong users. Since cloud computing offers everyone plenty of storage and processing power for a low cost, of course, someone would want to leverage the cloud for unsavory purposes. A little over a decade ago, only $6 worth of cloud processing power was enough to take down a small business network. Unscrupulous users can hog and overload the system, leading to plenty of money and resources lost, depriving others to the chance to access it. Therefore, we should prevent anyone from having free reign over the cloud and limit their usage to some extent, regardless of how much they are paying. Someone or an AI should monitor the cloud usage and ban those caught abusing it. Alright, I hope you've learned a lot of how the cloud can be targeted. Now let's look at the industrial and countries most commonly targeted by hackers. The IBMX Force Threat Intelligence Index 2022 identified manufacturing as the most targeted industries, followed by finance and insurance, professional and businesses, services, energy, retail, and wholesale. All these industries have always on cloud infrastructure crucial to their operations, meaning even a few minutes of downtime will potentially create a substantial loss. The manufacturing industry is particularly vulnerable. If a factory's operations are suspended due to a cloud attack, it'll create a ripple of effect where many other businesses reliant on the factory's products will lose out. As much as 6.2 million USD or about 3.5% of company revenue were lost in 12 months to attacks. That's considerable amount of money down drain that could be avoided with the right cybersecurity measure. So we have the top targeted industries. What about the top countries? The top 5 countries targeted for attacks over the past decade were identified by SpecOps software as follows: the United States of America, the United Kingdom, India, Germany, and South Korea. Tech giants and major tech companies are not only headquartered in these countries, but so their data centers. If there's an attack on a particular region, having backup centers in different places will be cushion the impact by operating with those backup instead. In the future, with data centers propping up in emerging markets, the attack patterns may change in terms of location. The impact of cloud attacks are substantial, and it will continue to be a thorn on many organizations for a foreseeable future. Imagining a future without the cloud at all is challenging. 79% of companies experience at least one cloud data breach throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, and I expect this number to increase in the coming years. Why? Cloud computing is only getting popular due to decreasing costs and increase in remote working. Companies are fully aware cloud computing can't be 100% trusted, so on-site storage and computing is probably here to stay as contingency plans for very sensitive data. The fight against cloud attacks will always be ongoing as new vulnerabilities are discovered and hackers are catching up with their expertise. Let's hope everything keeps up the good work, maintaining and upgrading cybersecurity before hackers catch up with them. Thank you for listening to Mobility at Work. Do check out our website, syndes.biz, and follow us on social media for more content about managing your business with technologies. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye!